Injury update, Keontae Ingram had a hip pointer in the first half that we put a little medicine on it, took him in, and wasn't quite ready. We don't think it'll be anything long-term. Jamarcus Durst with a pretty severe shoulder sprain, so he would not have been able to continue. And then Calvin Anderson played through some knee issues. We'll get that looked at tomorrow, but he was able to finish the game. Really, I know it's cliched, but great team win. Great team win. Our defense carried us when we needed them to. That is a really good football team. Really good football team, a really good defense especially. And, it was tough sledding. We knew and we prepared our guys that this was not going to be, a 45-7 game. I mean, this was going to be an ugly, hard-fought, physical game, as all games against TCU are. And the defense kept us in it when we were finding our way a little bit offensively. But again, I can't credit the defense enough, or the offense enough for responding, for never hanging their head. It looked pretty ugly there towards the end of the second quarter and first couple drives of the third quarter, but we responded, and we had another 6-minute drive that ended in a touchdown, and then we had another drive that we milked the clock down pretty good as well. So really pleased with the way that we handled it as an entire team. And again, this is just one step. This is not the end-all, be-all. This is a good win against another ranked opponent, an opponent that's going to win a lot of games the rest of their season as well. And I got a ton of respect for Coach Patterson and his program. But we're going to celebrate it, enjoy it, and we're going to wake up tomorrow knowing we got to go on the road for the first time in a month against a Kansas State team that's always tough to handle, and especially when they're playing at home. That is a tough place to play. So, again, really proud of our guys for their composure, their grit, their continued fight throughout the course of the game and the ups and downs, and excited to see the progress that we make this week. Questions?
Tom, congratulations. Now you got to manage your team and handling prosperity, I guess, as you head off to Kansas State. But if you could just talk about that, the maturity level of your team and how they, will handle that going on the road. Caden Stearns, big plays that helped turn the game, and then were you surprised by Dicker struggle today?
Managing success is something we talked a lot about last Sunday, and it's something we'll talk a lot about tomorrow, that our family, the guys that sit in this team meeting room on Sundays, which is our coaches, our players, strength staff, trainers, those are the people whose opinions solely matter. And there's nobody that can put higher expectations on us than ourselves. And we're gonna have a lot of confidence in the way that we prepare, but certainly not arrogance. We understand that winning is extremely difficult, week in and week out, especially in this conference. So we understand and will understand and continue to understand that we've got a lot of work to do. And I thought our guys handled it very, very well, coming off the win against USC, and we'll talk a lot about it tomorrow as well, and I expect much of the same. Caden Stearns, a hell of a football player. I don't know what he's going to grade out. I got to watch the film, assignment-wise, all that stuff, but he's always around the football. He's got a natural knack. Got great ball skills, so being around the football is one thing, but being able to make plays on it is another, and then he's a great tackler as well. And was I surprised by Cameron's inconsistency? Yeah. Dang it, I said it again. I was surprised, but one of them was a pretty far one that the wind was blowing significantly and had just missed. The other one, we got to do a better job of having our composure because of, some of these new rules about speeding the pace of play up. In the NCAA, that clock is winding, and we were out there too much complaining about a call on third down that we got out there kind of late, and I'm sure, no kicker wants to be rushed, but he'll bounce back. We have the utmost confidence in him.
Tom, way before the season started, I think Kirk asked you up in Frisco, do you have any star players or All-American players, and you were kind of hesitant to answer that. Is that becoming more evident that some of the guys who maybe you had big expectations for individually are kind of living up to your expectations?
I don't. Hey, congratulations on. I don't believe I've seen you since you got your new gig, man. Congratulations. I don't know. I think we knew what a lot of these guys were capable of. Now to quantify that is another issue. I don't know. It seems as if different guys step up each week. I think we're finding more and more out about our guys each and every week, but I sure do believe that we have more now than I probably believed 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago.
Coach, just talk about the resolve of your team. Again, battling back and forth against a top-ranked team. Again, it's another week. I think at one point you guys were 0 for 8 on third down conversions, and then I think you guys have finished like 5 for 7. Just talk about mentally, battling back. And I know you said it's just one win, but what can a win like this, do for you guys that kind of need more signature wins?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. Our third down offense was not good. And credit TCU. I mean, that's a really, really good defense. As good as we'll play for a while, I would imagine. But we just, there's a grit to this team that's fun to be around. There's no head hanging. There's no bad body language. There's no doubt. You start off 0 for 8 on third down, there's going to be a lot of doubt that creeps in. But I think we were confident in the way that we prepared. We were confident that, if we just went out and continued to stick to the game plan, that the plays would start going our way. And we did that. And again, I really do. You said speak to it. I will. I mean, I really like the grit of this team and the tenacity that they've shown, especially the last couple weeks.
I think the first thing you said about TCU on Monday was they have speed everywhere, but you kind of snuck in at the end of the press conference, I like our speed too. Where do you think, how are you able to neutralize TCU's speed, not just defensively, but offensively as well?
I think, one, we got pressure on the quarterback. Anytime you can rattle the quarterback, I think it makes it difficult for him to get the ball into his playmakers' hands. I think we ran to the football on the little smoke screens and bubbles and things that they had popped in previous weeks for big games, making guys miss this, that, and the other. And they did. They made the first guy miss probably pretty frequently tonight. And there's no defensive player that's ever played that's not missed a tackle. And they were hard to tackle, but I think the one thing that we did was we ran to the football defensively, and it was the second and third and fourth hat that were able to, neutralize or at least turn what they had previously into big plays into, just normal, 3 and 4 yard gains. And then offensively, I think, we wanted to run the ball downhill, and then we wanted to attack the structure of the defense. Going side to side against them is probably not the best way to go because they can really, really run. So we stuck to that game plan, although at times it was pretty messy. They did a good job moving their D-line around and making it difficult to combo block and get double teams and all that stuff. But I thought our offensive coaches did a good job adjusting to that. And then, we wanted to be able to exploit some downfield one-on-one matchups, which we did.
Tom, I think all 4 of your defensive backs made major plays at various points tonight, but it was the way that they did it. Chris Boyd knocking that ball out in the end zone, Caden's picks, Brandon, and Devontae's big hits. What did you make of how they played? Not just the big plays, but just the aggressiveness you're talking about.
Yeah, it was fearless. And that's the one thing that we've been preaching for a while around here is when you're confident in your preparation, you're confident in the way that you've been trained, you're confident in your teammates and their preparation and their ability to do their job, then it should be very easy and fun to play fearless and to not hesitate and to not think. And especially in big moments tonight, I saw those guys in the backfield not hesitate, not think, not stutter their feet, but just go make plays, and was proud of them for that.
And speaking of confidence, Sam misses the touchdown pass to Colin on the drive, but you come right back, basically, and Colin makes the sliding catch. Was there talk about, hey, run that again or do it again, or was it a different?
No, it was a different play, and we had seen something in their coverage based on that formation that we were in, and liked the matchup, and the O-line executed. Colin certainly executed, and Stam stood in there. There was a guy hanging on his ankles, and he stepped up and threw a really good ball.
Coach, going back to Sam, I was going to ask you about that. You've been talking about his progression the last couple of weeks. Obviously, standing in the pocket tall like he did on those last two big throws, you got to be happy with what you see there. The guy around his ankles and then throwing deep both times, getting his target.
Yeah, he's having a lot more confidence in his offensive line. I think one of the big things, again, I can't say it enough, is the continuity of offensive system. He believes in what we're calling, and it's not calling the same thing, or it's not calling different things each and every week. It's calling plays that he feels comfortable with, plays that he's run 1,000 times, to receivers that he's run them 1,000 times too. And so continuity breeds confidence, and he's playing with a lot of it right now, but a lot of it goes to the fact that his receivers are doing what they're supposed to, and then the offensive line is doing what they're supposed to.
Tom, how would you describe the value of a win like this over another ranked team at home where they've been starving for success? And does this stamp Texas as a team on the rise?
All it does is validate the fact that we have taken another step. That's all. We've got many, many, many steps left to take. Again, it would be foolish of me not to thank our students again. Wow, was that really cool to see our students and our fans. That was for 2 straight weeks, and hats off to Chris Delconte again and Drew Martin for this new and improved game day atmosphere. Our players really, really feed off that. And I can tell you this, when you go sing The Eyes of Texas after a win against a top 25 opponent in front of a student section that's as packed and as loud as that, that's special. That is a special, special feeling. So to answer your question, we went 1-0 again against a really good opponent, and we're going to have to wake up tomorrow and take another step and do it on the road against another really good opponent.
Tom, you mentioned the defense carrying you early. I know in a lot of these big...
Say it again. Start again.
I said you mentioned about the defense carrying you guys early on, and I know in some of these big games against these top opponents, that's been thematic for your defense since you've been here. How valuable has it been that you guys have been able to do that, and why is this defense been able to play with the kind of aggressiveness and attitude that it has been since you've been here?
We got good players on defense. That helps. I think... our starting 11 and our key subs are really good players. I think Coach Orlando and his staff do an excellent job game planning every week, and our kids believe in him and believe in our system and our way of doing things, and it allows them to go play loose and play free and play fearless. But it starts with having good players and then coaching and developing those players, and then finally that belief in what we're doing allows them to play very, very aggressive.
Tom, you kept Chris one-on-one with Jalen throughout the game. How much faith did you guys have in him to keep that assignment even after some rocky moments in the first half?
Yeah, no, it wasn't the whole game. Certainly, we gave him some help. We clouded him at times and put a safety over the top at times. But in this day and age, especially, you can't sit there and play cloud coverage all game long, or you're going to get the ball run on you till the cows come home. So we've got to stop the run. And for the most part, I thought we did a pretty good job of that tonight. And when you devote that much effort and energy into stopping the run, your corners are going to get tested, and they did. And I thought Chris did a great job of responding. That's something that he's really worked on throughout our time with him, is responding when a play happens. Again, much like missing a tackle, I don't know that there's ever a corner that's ever played the game that hadn't had a pass caught on him, And so it's going to happen, and the last play doesn't matter. The next one doesn't matter. The only one that matters is this one. And for the most part, he did a great job in those one-on-one matchups. And I thought Coach Orlando did a nice job, too, of mixing in some help at times for him. Thanks.